Hey guys, I'm coming to you with some bracelets that I've made, and these right here, I wanted to switch things up and try something new that I've never done before. So I was roaming through YouTube and I found an amazing tutorial. I will link the tutorial below, in fact, two of them, to show you how to make the bracelet and also to show how to do the closure separately. And the wax cording that I purchased from Etsy, no, it's not Etsy. Yeah, it is Etsy, lied, is right here. And I purchased 3 of these. I need to buy some more. They only have 3 colors, which is black, blue, brown, black, brown, white. And this is where I got it from. But like I said, in her video that I'm going to link below, I believe she might be the store owner. So she links her store below in her description box so that you can go ahead and find this exact cording. All right. So yes. Let me show you. These are how they look. These are corded, knotted bracelets. So you'll see that there's knots in between certain amounts of beads. Totally your preference on where you want to put the knots, right? Okay, and then these, all you do is you do this. That's how you close. This is how you open, close, okay? So, and then to put them on, mine are 6.5 inches because that's my wrist size. So you literally, with the hand that you're putting your bracelet on, I'm putting it too wide. Okay. You grab one of the beads right here, you hold it with this hand, and then you have your second one right here, and all you're doing is pulling at the same time. And look at, and it closes. And then there's your ending pieces. Okay. So again, here's another one. These are the glass beads I chose to do. I started just going on my own after I followed hers and coming up with my own pattern, putting out all my other beads. And then there you go. So how fun are these, right? And there, once you get the hang of it, guys, it might look a little deceiving, like, oh my gosh, that looks like work. It's really not. As soon as you get the hang of it, you can bust these out in no time. So just keep pulling. I believe this is the one I made for Nat. So let me put that on the side. That one's a bigger bracelet. And here's another one. Hold it with this hand. Pull with this other one. Okay. So see, this is how it looks. All the way around. You just start to see these are my natural stones right here. Then here's my glass beads. These are all glass beads. I have mixed in here with hematite. And then here's a cracked glass bead. So you just slide it on. Hold one of the closures in one hand and then pull with the other, and then bam. And because they're waxed, they hold. But see how fun and pretty those are, guys? Extra stinking easy as soon as you get the hang of it. So for instance, let me show you these. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a couple things that worked best for me. After I did her tutorial, I noticed that this right here popped off. Then the final part where she has you crossing it and you're starting to create your second one where it makes this is a separate piece of cording. This part right here, she only shows you to do it, I think, 2 or 3 times. That's not enough. The beads are too heavy. So what happens is through the course of the day, it starts getting like this. It starts like this because it's so heavy. And there's only like a couple knots here. I do 6 loops. So when you watch her video below, you'll see that she does 3. Just know I did 6 loops, okay? On this right here, at the very end, she shows to do a surgical knot. Okay, so she calls it a double knot. I'm not gonna call it that, because what happens when you say double knot, I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna stick this one right because I'm working on another one. Okay, so you do, this is your one, where you would just do it the one time. Okay, the second time is your surgical knot, and you've seen me do that on my stretchy bracelets. So that's 2. You're putting it through the hole once, putting it through the hole twice. Okay. and she uses an awl. I don't have an awl, but I have a pokey tool. You stick this in the knot, okay? But when you do it, you're gonna hold it closest to this bead right here because you want the knot to be snug. So here it's in here, but you're gonna see it's just gonna go a little farther to the side. And then I'm gonna make sure that it's closest to the bead. So when I pull with my left hand, since I'm right-handed, okay, I'm just gonna continue pulling. And then you'll see right here. And then it's still not tightened yet, and I just push it with my nail. And then there it is. So now it's close to it, okay? Now, she does a surgical knot on here. She only does it to where it's 2 times, right? So I do 3. Then after that, she does 1 knot through each bead. It's up to you if you want to do that. I choose to do surgical knots every single time I do a knot because these beads are pretty heavy, and I'm worried about if they pop on, whichever way you go, and I don't want that to happen. So on this end right here, when I said I did 3, let me show you what that means. So I do 1, which would be your basic knot, okay? Then you do 2, which she calls a double knot, but it's a surgical knot. That's 2. I do 1 more back in the center, which is 3, okay? So you'll see that that's 3. Then I tighten, I pull it. So what happens is that this part right here is just a bigger knot. So when you are constantly pulling this right here, because after time putting it on, off, you're holding on to this bead right here with this hand, and we're pulling with this bead right here on this hand. We're holding this one and we're holding this one. And then when you're closing it like this and you're putting so much pressure on this one bead, when I did it, it popped off. If this pops off when you've already done all your knots, I need you to understand you cannot fix that. So it was really irritating for me because I had to cut this whole bracelet off because this is not like your typical, stretchy bracelet, memory wire bracelet. I have to cut every single knot, take all the beads out, and start with a whole brand new 24 inches of cording. So, and I was really irritated because of this one bead, and I was finished with the whole bracelet, mind you. So I realized, okay, when I'm doing this, because when you add 6, it makes it snug. It makes it hold on tighter. So you just want to do 3 knots at the very end on both of them. And then a surgical knot on the insides, and then surgical knots all the way around. Unless you're using acrylic beads. If you're using acrylic beads, then go ahead and do it exactly how she tells you. This right here, she also tells you to do it 3 times. I do it 6 times when she wraps. And like I said, I'm going to link the video below how she shows you, and you're going to remember what I'm telling you. When she does the 1, 2, 3, I do 6. Then I put the string through, and then I pull tightly. So that it's durable enough for all of these beads and that it doesn't slip off, because come end of day, like I said, your bracelet's going to be like this if you only do a couple, and that's not what you want. You want them to stay closed. So, and that's just my tidbits, okay? So I just wanted to let you know, when you make mistakes on these, you cannot fix them because the knot's on here. No matter how many times you try to get this little pokey and you try to get in there and undo the knots, once you do those 3 knots, it's done. You're done. There is no way to undo it. So just don't forget, when you do your first one, make sure you have your 2-inch gap here, because you need that for the closure on both sides. I made the mistake as well. I did this first one, didn't even think about it, right? And I started putting on my beads, doing all my knots. I got to the end, I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now? I had to cut it all off and start all over again. So it's not forgiving. So you just got to take your time and pay attention to what you're doing. And I did waste a lot to figure out what worked best for me, okay? So like I said, I'm not going to take away from her video because she does a really great job showing it. But I just noticed those 2 things that fell apart for me. This one right here, it came apart with just the 2 or 3 knots that she shows you to do. And also 2, and then on the end, I chose to do 3 instead of 2. So watch the second video. Don't cut into, if you get the cording, make sure you watch the second one, because the first video, she doesn't show you to do the knots right here on the second piece that you're using. She shows that on the second video. So just make sure to watch both, get an idea of what you're doing, and just know that you're gonna you know, go through a little bit of cording before you get it. And what you do, it's like butter. I was busting these out in like 5 minutes. The first round, of course, not so easy. I had to figure out my rhythm. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope that you like this style bracelet, because it was a lot of fun now that I finally know what I'm doing. And that's it. So I will see you guys later. I hope you guys have an amazing and super blessed week, guys. And that's it. Bye, guys.